And yeah, I guess I'll start with that then. The book's very, I feels very Thornbury centric. Is that is that a big part of where you've grown up and lived over the years?
Do you know what? No, I grew up in Queensland.
Oh yeah.
So Melbourne, I came to discover when I retrained as a lawyer, and then I went and did all this other stuff, and like I was living in Canberra, which, look, Canberra's great and everything, but
Sure.
and then I went up in Singapore, and the whole time I just went, I really want to get back to Melbourne. I love it. So I got back a couple of years ago, and yeah, I remember I was walking my dog, and I turned down this street, and then all of a sudden there were just all these scarecrows. I was like, what the? Like, really creative, kind of out there. And that's Rossmoyne Street in Thornbury has
Mhm.
this Scarecrow Festival every year. And that inspired the prologue of my book. And it
Right.
kind of just spilled out from there.
So yeah, that is sort of the genesis of the novel, is it? That's where it's the idea kicked off.
Yeah, definitely that sort
Yep.
of that hooky crime aspect of it, 100%. We can blame
Yeah.
Rossmoyne Street residents for that one.
And you've had like a quite a sort of diverse career, haven't you, in like law and arts, comms as well?
Yeah, so I started off
Diplomat?
as I was a diplomat for a while. I was an international lawyer. I was a comms manager at a museum. Before that, I spent 10 years as an actor. So I've done I get bored. Is that what's wrong with me? Like, maybe I'm just getting bored too easily.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like variety. I like creativity. I like an intellectual challenge. So whatever will get me those things, I go towards, I suppose.
And when did you decide that a novel, not a TV series or anything, was the way to go? Being
I
an
think I
actor
was
as well.
about 5, if I'm going to be honest with you. But like, I wrote my first book. Pretty sure it was heavily plagiarized, but I wrote my first book when I was 5. It was about a couple of toys that fell out of bed and had to find their way back in. But yeah, I always wanted to write a book, and I always wanted to be a novelist. And then along the years, I just kind of forgot about that. I
Mhm.
got distracted by everything else. And then I had a friend staying with me. Her name's Kende Faripe, and she's also a published author. And she was going through the process of publishing her first book when she was staying with me. And I just went, oh my gosh, yeah, that's actually a thing you can do.
Yep.
That happens to real people. And that's what made me, I've always been a writer and I've always written, but that was what made me go, no, you know what, I'm going to sit down, write a book for publication and see what I can do with this. So
How did you find that process in terms of first writing it and then going through the querying and agents and all the rest? How was that for you?
well, two different answers to that one. So like the first part, like, how did I find writing it? Look, I felt like I was drowning and flailing and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, how does one actually write a book? I've always been one of those people who's never been able to hit a word count. So I was like, I'm never going to be able to write a novel length thing. But then I just found that I suppose, a sort of discipline to novel writing that I'd never bothered engaging with before. And once I worked out what that was and how it worked for me, it was
Yep.
smooth sailing. But there was definitely like this moment of panic a third of the way through where I was just like, I'm drowning, I don't know what I'm doing. And then as for the querying process, I have a confession. I didn't want to do it. I just went, because everyone always wants a synopsis. I tried to write the
Yep.
synopsis. I kept trying to write
Yep.
just hated it. And I went, well, how do I get this in front of people without writing a synopsis? And I thought, if I could just do well in a well-respected writing competition. And so what I did,
Perfect.
I'd used the Victorian Premier's Literary Awards as my deadline for getting the book finished. And so
Mhm.
it was submitted. And I just went, you know what, I'm just going to leave it there and we'll see what happens. And so I just ignored the whole thing for 6 months. And very happily, I got shortlisted. And so I never had to do the querying
Okay, cool. Yep.
trenches.
Very good. Yep.
So
Good
yes, I
plan.
was lucky in that sense.
Very, very good plan. Yeah, for sure.
Do not recommend it as a plan for anyone,
I
but
don't
it
know.
worked for me.
I like the optimism of it. It's great. Just walk away and just let the universe take care of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I guess the major theme of this novel is tear down the patriarchy. Would that be fair?
No, I don't think
No?
that's necessarily fair. I understand where you got to that from, though. I understand how you got there.
I'm
But
down.
it's definitely a critique of the dysfunction that is caused by patriarchal systems. Yep. And it's definitely, it looks at how it, all these systems that are sort of set up to work for us as people don't. And, I've worked on the other side of that. I've been part of the system. I've been part of that beast, that monster. And it's so frustrating seeing how it fails consistently. And particularly when it comes to marginalized communities and women, it's this beast. And Australia does have a real problem with gendered violence. Yes. Yes. We've got one of the highest rates of it in a developed country in the world. So looking at that, but something I've always found through life is just the incredible people that I've worked with, that I've met, that I'm friends with, who have to deal with and live with these systems every day, and the creative ways that they actually find to work with them, through them, around them. And so it's really, I suppose, yes, it's that critique of that patriarchal dysfunction, but it's also really a celebration of the people who exist and continue to push through within that space. So yes. Yes, but also no to the answer to the question.
Yeah, good. I really love the strong sense of justice, because I wasn't sure where it was where we were headed. And just the sense that this is going to sort of, we'll just put this away. This is going to work. Yeah, and definitely watch the cat, I guess. I really enjoyed Easy Kill.
I love Easy Kill so much.
Who doesn't like a biker that just loves his nana? Was that coming from any particular encounters or experiences in the legal profession? Or?
Do you know what? Easy Kill actually comes from stories from my dad.
Right.
My dad is my dad's a farmer, but for whatever reason, Dad can get on with just about anybody, and he's had a lot of colorful characters in his life. And I remember he was staying with me one night, and we had this long late night conversation about some people that he'd had in his life in the past, and Easy Kill is directly inspired by one of those.
Can't say anymore.
That's about all I'm going to say. But
fair enough.
Yeah, so he's inspired by a real person. I suppose more than one real person, but he's definitely, he's got his roots in reality.
So I lived in Queensland for a while too, so I'm just trying to imagine a few of the wrap my head around this. who could potentially be the inspiration there as well.
There's lots of characters.
Yeah. So you wanted to write since you were 5, and what were you reading then? Like, what were who were the authors that were inspiring you, young Lauren, to get into it?
When I was 5, my favorite book, what was my favorite book? I think it was probably still Hattie and the Fox. Right. Loved that book. I guess I just really liked suspense as a little kid. What is it? It's a nose and 2 eyes in the bushes. But I'd get really obsessed with a single book for a year or so when I was a little kid. So after that, I think it was Plop, the Owl Who's Afraid of the Dark. Right. After that, it was the Narnia series. I was always a really avid reader. It was my it was my escape. It was my happy place. I really liked the imagination of it and the escaping to different worlds and the adventures you could have. I was the kid that used to read under the desk in class and under the covers in bed. So it's always been a big part of my life.
And what authors, as you sort of influenced this book, who were you reading, or who sort of gave you that sort of the spark?
This particular one, I think, which would be a particular author? I suppose I took a lot of inspiration from Australian authors, people like Deborah McTiernan, Jane Harper, Leanne Moriarty, you know, all those names that we all know and love, Anna Downs, Chris White, like the list goes on and on and on. And it's really something that I really wanted to make sure with this book was that it was written reflecting the Australia that I know and love.
Yep.
Because there just aren't many out there like it.
I was going to. Yep.
You go.
I was going to say, like, it's refreshing to see something in the vernacular and you know, reflecting sort of, you know, suburban reality, because a lot of the time we sort of miss out on that, I think. Or
I agree.
Yeah, our literature does, or you know, our literature doesn't really sort of canvas that sort of subject matter a lot.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we also our urge is to soften it a bit.
Yes.
You know, I remember when I was an actor, did most of my work in the UK, and you were always sort of encouraged to do RP, which is this received pronunciation. It's that sort of generic English accent you hear all the time. And I feel like we sort of instinctively do that in our writing as well. We go for this sort of softer, flattened thing that won't alienate anybody or anything like that. And I think it's such a shame, because I don't think the Australian vernacular is alienating in any way whatsoever. I think it's absolutely delightful. And it's home, right? It's part of who we are. And so, yeah, it was really nice to be able to just go, you know what, no, I'm just going to write this. I'm going to write Australia. I'm going to write this little tiny pocket of Australia. And this, the suburban reality of it. It was a lot of fun to write, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you know, people do find the language fascinating, and yeah, sort of standing the edges off it doesn't really make sense in a sort of international perspective either. Like, you know, Australian film sort of travels best when it sort of embodies probably some of the worst traits now as well, but you know, like
no, I agree. Like, I mean,
the honesty of
it was a while ago, but Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, is quintessentially Australian. It couldn't be made anywhere else.
It's actually made where I'm from, so
that's awesome.
It goes deep. It goes very deep. But yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great to have that language on the page. And is there like a pathway to international publication on this once it's released here, do you think? Or
look, I would love it to be. That would be really cool. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I know with this one, so Priyanka Pal, my detective, is a recurring detective. So her second book will be coming out next year. It's with my publisher at the moment. So look, I'd be delighted if it went out overseas. I did write it mostly for my Antipodes family.
Yes. Yep.
Like, that's who I had in mind when I was writing it. So we'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm mostly just, I'm really happy that it's reaching the intended audience.
Yeah, and I think the cast of characters in the neighbourhood too, sort of just, I mean, having lived in Thornbury for a little bit too, just sort of really hit home in terms of all this archetypes.
It seems familiar.
Very familiar. I mean, Brunswick, Thornbury, yeah, a lot of concrete, a lot of bird baths, a lot of
all the things.
That was, yeah, absolutely made me homesick quite a bit.
Oh no.
No, you won.
I mean,
that
great. Kind of makes me happy.
No, it's really evocative of, it's got that. I don't think you'd feel the same way if it was like written about Leichhardt or somewhere in Sydney. There's very definitely sort of the Melbourne flavour to that.
Yeah, it's very definitely
which works
Melbourne.
Very beautifully. So you've got the second novel in the can and ready to go.
Yep, I'm just waiting for the editorial feedback, and then that one will be out next year.
And is there a roadmap for a sort of bigger series going forward? Or?
Look, I've got ideas and thoughts and plans. It'll be impacted by how much people enjoy and love and want Priyanka back and these types of stories. Because I have so many ideas. Like, I'm probably exhausting. I've got all these ideas that I've got to get out on the page, and they're not just in this sort of Priyanka Pal kind of world, but you know, I want to write about a lot of the experiences that I had in foreign affairs and those sorts of things. I would love to be able to get into books and on the page. I have already written a draft espionage one that's with my agent at the moment, so we'll see if she likes it. It was good fun to write.
Man, you've been busy.
Yeah, look, it's been nice to be able to just go, oh, I can actually make a thing of this writing thing and actually commit to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, 3 novels already. Yeah, cool. Good job. What do you think? I mean, I feel like this is like got potential for an adaptation or something ongoing as well. Has that sort of
so
entered the back of your head?
I would love it. Like, I remember when I was writing it thinking, oh, I'd love this person to play it.
I was going to say, yeah, do you have a cast sort of like germinating in the back of your head while you're writing, or people you
it
sort of...
varied a lot while I was writing. I always thought Asha Keddy would just play a beautiful Emma Bloom. I just thought she would do an amazing job with her. But and I remember when I came up with Priyanka's sort of sidekick, if you like, Christina, I always had Juno Temple in my head as just my image of her. So it was just sort of, I find that kind of process actually quite helpful in developing characters as well, because if you can sort of cast a little bit, even if it's not a consistent casting, or if you've got like a bunch of different people, you can go, okay, these sorts of different traits and things, and it just really helps, I think, with the consistency of the character throughout the story.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, you find the voice, maybe a little bit too, if you sort of have someone in the back of your head that you're sort of, envisioning as the character, maybe.
Yeah.
And so the book comes out on...
It comes out in the beginning of, I think it comes out like...
First, is it?
The 30th of June. So 1st of July is my understanding. So yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And what's the promotional plan? What's happening? You're going on tour?
We're going on a massive tour. Everybody wants to meet me.
Well, that's you've got to push it out, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's meeting, talking to people like yourself, meeting people who are enthusiastic about the book, working with people to promote it, get it out there. It's sort of, I mean, it's such a new experience as well. I'm really learning as I go. And I'd sort of, to be honest, after leaving diplomacy, I ran a million miles away from social media. I just kind of hit the wall with it. And so now I'm back on there again and okay, that's right. I'm like trying to engage with people. So it's sort of, I feel like I'm learning as I go, and I hope I get better at it as I go as well, because it is a learning process, and it's a whole new industry that I'm wrapping my head around. The thing that's been so nice about it, though, I was kind of expecting it to be like the acting industry, but people have just been so endlessly lovely.
Right.
I've been kind of baffled. I'm like, wow, you're all so nice. Where's the catch?
You've got readers now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really, really lovely.
Oh, that's great. What social media platforms are you on? What are you trying to get your head around?
I'm on Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I know it's like the nerd one and everybody hates it, but...
What do you love about LinkedIn?
It's where I follow all my international law people I follow, and they put out these really interesting things. And I like it because, look, there's a lot of discourse on there about AI and stuff like that, but it just feels a little less saturated in it compared to like platforms like Instagram. And it also feels a little less censored than platforms like Instagram as well. That being said, it is LinkedIn, and it is. I
think you're the first person that said that. Yeah, counting yourself on LinkedIn. So yeah, well, on the AI front, I guess, what's your take, especially as it pertains to creativity?
Well, I mean, AI isn't creativity, right? No. It's just regurgitating stuff it's already pulled from elsewhere. And I was thinking about it the other day, and the best analogy I can think for it is a little bit convoluted, but bear with me. Feel free to cut this if it's terrible.
No, all good. Go for it.
But are you familiar with Joseph Campbell?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So right here, of 1,000 Faces, it's a really interesting book, has its flaws and whatever. But for those people who don't know about it, he went and studied all these different myths and cultures and legends around the world and went, hey, there's this really interesting thing that's come up. I've noticed that there's a particular shape of a story that seems to crop up across cultures. This is what it looks like. And then you got, is it Dan Vogler, who took that and kind of flattened it into the hero's journey, which is this sort of 3-part story structure that I think probably anyone who's ever studied storytelling knows, because it's kind of been held up as this holy grail and the only type of story to tell. And now you see it crop up in Hollywood films over and over and over and over again. It's like the only story that's being told now. And I feel like that flattening of what Joseph Campbell initially noticed, which was this interesting shape that shows up across different cultures. It's not the only shape, but just, one that happens to show up that looks kind of like this, that got flattened into the hero's journey, has been flattened into all these stories. I feel like that's what AI kind of does, but in a worse way. It's been trained on all these stories and all this incredible stuff. And it doesn't train to take out what makes things special. It trains to take out what makes things predictable. And so that's what you get.
Yes.
I think as long as AI is still new, people are still going to be struggling with the idea of, because it does write great sentences. Like you read things, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. But then you actually read it and you're like, that also makes no sense. And I think it's going to take a little while for us to get used to recognizing AI for what it is, and recognizing that sort of very flat, generic kind of style of storytelling it has and writing that it has. So right now it's exciting for people. And I think for a lot of people, the idea of, writing a book is not so much about the journey of writing. It's not actually about creating a book. They just want a thing that they've got and created.
Look what I did.
Yeah. So I feel like it seems very exciting at the moment. But the thing is, like, Kindle Unlimited is full of terrible stuff. Like, it's just these generic bad things. And it is bad. I've had to look through some of it. And look, maybe there's always going to be a market for that stuff. But I think ultimately people are always going to want to engage with human created content, because the arts are where our community is. It's where we come together, it's where we express opinions, it's where we dissent, it's where we explore ideas, it's where we discover new things. And AI by its very nature is designed to be really homogenous and just it's one view. So I think that there'll probably be a little bit of struggle period while we come to terms with how it exists and all this sort of stuff, and also just its viability as a long-term platform in terms of affordability, whether it's financial or environmental, whatever. So we can't really know what the future of it is in that sense. But I think there's going to be that struggle period, but ultimately humans will prevail because we're humans and we like to connect.
It's we have a big discussion around voice in some of the writers groups I'm in, and sort of the fact that AI very definitely it will never be capable of developing a voice because it doesn't have experiences and it doesn't have a perspective on the world. And that's why you read, because you want to hear someone's voice coming out and playing relating their experiences, opinions, or like whatever sort of story they've got to tell. So
absolutely.
I
think you can probably, I think a lot of people would probably argue you can train an AI to have a voice. And I'm like, I don't know that I agree with that, because the AI is it's been trained on all this particular stuff. It's got a very white male American perspective on everything. That's going to influence whether you want it to or not.
Absolutely. It's, I guess I did a podcast about a year ago when I was initially getting sort of very bolshy about AI, and the other day I was at my hairdresser's and she said, I listened to the podcast and I realized just how bad AI is. I'm like, I've radicalized my hairdresser.
Hey, well done. One person at a time.
One person at a time. But we went through the environment. We went through exploiting people in the developing world. We went through data sets. We went through all of the and she was on board. I'm like, great.
Yay, well done.
So I'm hoping if we keep pushing these conversations, for sure. will annihilate that, and probably, explode the global economy as well with, like, when the bubble bursts. But sure,
Wow.
we'll take that. That's fine.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's time for a reset. Thank you so much for checking in. It's, real fun. So you're on Instagram, you're on LinkedIn, and people could just hunt you down. Just have a search. Yep.
Feel free to come say hi. My name is so generic. I apologize, guys. If you're trying to find me on Instagram, it's at Which Lauren Williams. If you're trying to find me on LinkedIn, maybe if you look up Lauren Williams DFAT, that might come up.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time, Lauren. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take it easy.